I'm putting on lip gloss.
It's a hat day. You're putting on gloss. I'm putting on accessory.
Well, we have to.
Yeah, we got to talk about beauty trends and our desperation to be beautiful the rest of our lives and how idiotic and absurd it is. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Candace.
And welcome to Don't Start.
And as we like to say, don't start.
Candace, save it for the show.
Exactly. So let's get to it.
That's why we got Jessica DeFino on.
Cue intro.
Jessica is a journalist and a beauty culture critic.
I'm so
where she
excited.
talks about the marketing and the cultural pressures to be beautiful, obsession with self-image, the consumerism to take advantage of our desperation to be beautiful forever. She's been featured on the New York Times,
This is a great
Vogue,
intro.
Cosmo, Harper's Bazaar. She has Ask Ugly, which is a beauty advice column for The Guardian. She
also
Flesh
has
World.
Flesh World on Substack.
Flesh World makes me a little uncomfortable.
I kind of like that title.
I know it. You really feel it.
It's a great
Flesh World.
Substack. She's got like 135,000 subscribers to her Substack. Go check it out. I'm literally putting on this Korean lip gloss right now. I want to ask her about Korean lip glosses.
Yes, but does she
facelifts.
love beauty trends or loves to hate them?
I don't know. I think we need to ask her because her videos make me giggle.
Of course,
She's
but
so
they
funny.
also are poignant.
Yeah, she's pointing out the thing where like people are waking up at 30 being like, should I get a facelift? I'm sorry,
told
you're not
you
supposed
at
to get
work,
a facelift
at
until you're like
work.
55, 60.
No, evidently people are saying it's like the Botox to prevent. Oh, we got to hear from her. Bring Jessica in, please. How do we survive this beauty culture? Hi there. Look at those fabulous bangs.
Jessica, bangs are in now.
I know, Jessica, let's go right from the... How long have you had bangs? Whole life?
Almost my whole life. Yeah.
Oh, you're the
because
girl that knows how to do bangs.
Yep.
That's what you are.
I have to. So I have trichotillomania, which is like hair picking disorder. So I have no eyebrows because I can't stop pulling them out.
Yeah.
So the bangs help.
I did bangs once in college, but it was like a do-it-yourself DIY college.
Mine
How
was
did it turn
terrible.
out?
Oh, yeah. She never had bangs again. She wears hats.
I was going to say, look at her. No, honestly, I had bangs too because at one point I was like, I feel like my forehead's really big. And then I tried the bangs and I was like, I cannot do these. I just couldn't control them. I looked weird. I looked like I was in a wig.
They look beautiful on you.
They look so good on you. And
Yes.
we started talking about bangs. Like, there's so
had
much we have to talk about with you.
They were trending this year. Were they not bangs? Like the
true.
kids I work with.
They were trending this year.
Yes, the 20-year-olds got bangs this year, and they all have these curlers they walk around with at work till they're on TV and they pull them.
Hi, Don't Start friends. You can catch my comedy special, Candace Gardino, Italian Bread, on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. It's only been a month, and I cannot believe the reactions. I'm so grateful. Thank you all for watching. I keep calling it Family Watch Night because it's the kind of comedy special that you don't have to get a babysitter. The whole family can watch it. So go ahead, spend some time with your family. While you're watching, you can laugh at my family. Back to the show.
Thank you
No,
for
I love
being
them.
here with us, finding the time
for
to
having
chit chat with us. I know you're always busy doing things and
mean,
writing things.
You're a fancy journalist. We have to say this. We both giggled over the fact that you talk about facelifts. I have a question for you. People turn 30 and they think they need a facelift. Right now, because the world is kind of doing that to us. I grew up in a world in which my grandmother got a facelift. I think she was like 59, 60. So I've always said, oh, I'm getting one when I'm 55, 60. But girls are getting it at 30. And you point this out so brilliantly. But what is your feeling on facelifts and all these things?
You're going right for the facelift.
I'm going right for facelift. I'm not even going.
I find it a little depressing.
Yes.
I
That's
do.
right.
I think, the way that I think about it is I call it aesthetic inflation. So this is the normalization of more and more extreme cosmetic procedures over time.
So
And when you
brilliant.
see it so often,
Yeah.
it not only raises the baseline standard of beauty that women are held to, it also makes it seem like, oh, this is no big deal. Like the facelift today is kind of like the Botox injections of 2010.
1,000%. That's my point.
So my question, Jessica, I could have wrapped that up right there. You said everything just so
I know,
brilliantly,
just end
and
the
I was
Zoom.
like,
It's over.
completely,
She's perfect.
completely. We're in that kind of place in the world. How has it evolved for you? Like, did you grow up as someone that loved the beauty industry and then said, the consumerism, the obsession, we are feeding on it and we're making women more insecure and obsessed with it? Where did this all develop for you? What was your journey?
Yeah, I've always been obsessed with beauty. I've always been obsessed with what I look like. starting from like a super young age, because my ears stick out like quite a bit. And before I started preschool, there was like a debate in my family of like, are we going to get her plastic surgery to get her ears pinned before she starts school so people don't make fun of her?
Oh, interesting.
I know, and that was just like normal in my life. And so I think I just was always very consumed with my own image.
Yes.
And plastic surgery was always like almost a carrot dangled in front of me of like, I wanted it so badly, but it just never materialized for a bunch of reasons. So yeah, I was always obsessed with beauty. I think it sort of peaked with me working at Whale Rock Industries, which did the Kardashian-Jenner Apps in 2015.
Wow. So did you ever meet a Kardashian?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, we worked with them on like creating all of the content for the app. So I was writing beauty content for Chloe's app and Kendall's app and Kim's sometimes. This was when Kylie released the Kylie Jenner lip kits.
Yeah.
Like I was in it.
Yeah.
Yes, girl.
And then, yeah, I think at that point, due to a number of factors, one, just like stress from the job, writing for the most famous women in the world, and then getting, for the first time in my life, tons of free, expensive beauty products.
Oh, God, I'm
my
so
skin started
jealous.
freaking out. I had a horrible reaction. Yeah, I developed dermatitis. And then I was put on topical steroids for the dermatitis.
Yeah.
Had a horrible reaction to that. Went into topical steroid withdrawal. And I was literally like the monster from The Substance. Like my skin was peeling off of my face in chunks.
Wait, Jessica, I have to stop you because I think what you're saying is so important because someone like me hears that you had access to all the finest beauty products of the world. And I'm like, I want it. I want to be you. And then to hear you say, oh no, it was kind of terrible. That I think it's a reality check for someone like me who always thinks sometimes the grass is greener or whatever, you know, that whole phrase. So why do you think that all happened?
Well, if it's sold to you well, you will grab it and try it.
It's so interesting.
I mean, it was a dream job for me at the time.
Yeah.
And then having this like strong physical reaction was the only thing that first like finally got me questioning all the things I had believed in for my whole life. And I am so grateful that I had that experience because it led to like not only like a crisis of the skin, but a crisis of the soul. Like when I couldn't wear makeup, when I had to go into work looking the way that I did, I felt completely worthless. And I started asking myself, okay, what do I need to do to build up some sort of confidence where I'm just not only feeling like I'm allowed to participate in my own life when I feel beautiful, or I'm at least striving for beauty.
Wow.
And yeah, that started my whole obsession with like, what is the beauty industry doing to us? What do these beauty standards do to our minds and then our bodies when we try to conform? And I was just kind of blown away by the history of the industry and standards and the psychological effects.
Wow.
And I did a hard pivot into beauty criticism.
I love that you call it beauty criticism. This is so great.
I keep melting down because we
Sarah's
feel
having
it.
a meltdown.
So no, because truly, both of us working in the entertainment industry for as long as we have, I felt like turning 40 was something that I felt a weight, and I'm working with younger people, but like literally physically a weight, but also saying that my worth is not based off of this, but we do it all to make sure to lift myself up or my spirits or whatever. And, you know, trying to tell myself, okay, this is life. We change. Our faces change. Our bodies change. Thank you. Just thank you because you're doing it with humor. You're in our minds. Because I'm going to ask you a couple things because I
Sarah's like fiending over here. This is like a moment.
I love it. How much is it just being a woman? Do men feel it in the same way? I think somewhat, of course. Also how social media has changed. But I just laugh because when I was, high school, going to prom, I got Spanx handed to me. At the age of 16.
We all did.
I hit 30. I got anti-aging cream handed to me.
Yes, I did.
Right.
There's fun in it, and then there's sadness of why am I covering myself with Spanx? Could you talk to it just being like, just as a woman, do you feel like there's more pressure? I mean, obviously.
Totally and completely. Like something that really opened my mind was when I realized that beauty standards are the physical manifestations of systems of oppression. So for women, a lot of these systems are oppressing us more strongly than they are men. Like sexism is the big one. Ageism is a huge one.
Huge.
Like youth is really associated with femininity more than it's associated with masculinity. And so these systems that are meant to keep us down in a patriarchal society, like as cheesy as that sounds today, like it's true. We are still living in a very patriarchal world, and women are conditioned to see themselves as objects before seeing themselves as people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all of the beauty industry is about optimizing the object rather than flourishing as a human being. And I think we're seeing the start of men's beauty and men's beauty standards and the normalization of like cosmetic surgery and Botox and even just skincare routines for men with the rise of social media, and then particularly with like the Zoom boom of the pandemic, where men were finally confronted with their images.
Yes.
Just even a little fraction of the way that women have been confronted with their own images for decades.
Oh,
It's sort of driven them crazy.
This
And
is
it's kind of
actually
interesting
very
to see
true.
because it's
That's very
this is
interesting.
What we live with all the time.
This is
since
very
the
true.
moment we're born, pretty much.
Yeah, my husband literally joked about that during the pandemic because he had so many Zoom calls that he actually made a joke. He was like, "Oh, that's what I look like on camera," because he's never seen himself. Like, when are we staring at it? When is a man really staring at himself on camera? Unless they're in the industry. I do have this question that crossed my mind when, of course, I follow you on social media, and this is something I think about often with someone like you who speaks their mind and is criticizing these billion-dollar companies. Do you often get backlash from these companies? And if you do, how do you handle it? If you do, my voice got really high. Because
Sometimes I do.
okay, how do you handle
But
it?
not as much as you might think. I think I do still sort of float under the radar of brands or something. Like I'm still on a lot of like bulk mailing lists for beauty editors, so I'll get the pitch emails the same as everybody else. And I kind of love that anonymity
course.
because it gives me more fuel for what I'm writing about.
Good girl, yeah.
But of course there is backlash, and I handle it not well. I mean, that's why I stepped away from social media for a really long time. It's hard not to take that
It's so hard.
personally. Especially with beauty, which I feel like with women especially is such a big part of identity. So in critiquing the beauty industry, a lot of people feel that I am attacking them personally because beauty is such a big part of who they are, how they present themselves, how
interesting.
they express themselves.
Yes.
And it's really hard to separate out like criticism of an industry, of corporations and conglomerates from criticism of you for buying the product. So that's something that I'm always... it's upsetting.
Yeah, but I think that's a really good point that you made, that there are times that we like just feeling beautiful, right? And I was laughing because I was thinking about you know, what the standards they do to women. I was like, yeah, they put us in very high heels that we can't move very fast and tight dresses.
Can't
These
run.
painful shoes that I laugh at. I call them.
So you can't breathe. Like throughout
I
the
was laughing.
centuries, there's been restrictions.
Yes, I laugh. I said these are sitting shoes because I can't walk in these shoes, and if I can't run in a shoe, I'm not wearing it to work or not wearing it out.
That's interesting. I can't run in half the shoes
love
I
that.
wear.
Yeah. But, you know, there's times I remember I had somebody said, you know, since pandemic, I don't wear makeup anymore. And but they would say it a lot to me. And I was like, I work on television and like I put on, I call it it's my alter ego, right? This is
It's way more makeup than normal than you would
I put
wear.
on my mask.
Yeah, it's a
But let me
mask.
tell you, as a theater girl, and I know you come from music as well, I love putting on the performance of this alternate Sarah or Sarah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's something about me that enjoys it, but you don't want to be tied to a normal life. I feel like there's a fine line.
That's a good point. Your whole identity, to your point, is your whole identity can't be wrapped up in it. But I think that's really hard with
we're
social
all
media.
women are trying to
with
find.
kids. Do you feel, especially with, I'm not going to say children, but those
Teenagers.
those teens into 20s.
Such a tough age.
It's a tough age right now. They're using Botox, fillers.
Teens? No, teens are not.
There are 20-year-olds that are getting...
Yeah. No, I can't remember the exact statistics, but I was looking this up for a story recently, and the market for Botox from like teens up until 19 is growing like exponentially.
Sarah,
every year.
I wasn't
so
lying.
It is being
hurts
introduced
me.
in teenage spaces.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was on camera recently for something, and I went, oh, Candace, you need a neck Botox. Oh,
And then I said, be kind.
God.
It's like when moms had the fupa
The
or whatever. You
fupa,
get them
whatever.
like, but I said you should be proud. You have how many kids to have that body? But it is something we have to talk about. Okay, can
And
I?
it's like people have those bodies without having kids too.
Yes,
Like this
and I
is
said,
just
I'm so-
something that
yes,
happens
yes.
to everyone. Like one of the hallmarks of human life is like you are going to grow and change
Yes.
size and shape
That is
and
correct.
whatever, and it keeps happening, and you're still
Right.
you, even if you
Right.
don't recognize the you in the mirror for a while.
And it's a
You
lot
are
of
still
talking
you.
to yourself and how do I speak to myself to give that joy. Can I ask you a question? How do you feel like the Kardashians have kind of changed the beauty industry as someone that worked alongside? I don't mean to bring it up, but I think
It's a
their
huge part of
reality
it.
show. I mean, I loved when they embraced their curvy bodies. Now it's not as much as we see with
they look different now, sure.
not just that, yeah, but like other celebrities
Yes,
that
of
used to
course.
embrace their curves are not. Like, how do these people affect just us, the ordinary?
Right.
Right.
And they affect us tremendously, and a lot of it just has to do with the media and the visibility that they get in the media.
Oh,
and
interesting.
we internalize what we see as the standard. And when they are
Right.
everywhere in your face all the time, from Instagram to television to red carpets and premieres and all of that, like that, you can't help but internalize that as the standard a little bit, because these are the women who are getting rewarded. These are the women who are, loved and praised for their beauty. It has an effect on us, of course. I think the Kardashians specifically really helped push a high aesthetic labor look into the mainstream,
Yes.
which created like a frenzy, a demand for spending more and more and more and more time on what you look like. And that even though the standards have changed in the past, 15, 20 years since they've been famous, the amount of time that we're spending on our looks has not changed at all. Like you can spend the same amount of time applying your no makeup and making your natural looking Botox appointments as you do doing a full face.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Something that crossed my mind for you specifically is I wouldn't know where to begin of what you report on next. Tell me how and what that process is for you. Does something come out in the news and you're like, I got to talk about this? Or how does it go for you?
I am such a mess. I wish I was more organized. I wish I had a better way of coming up with ideas. But yeah, I guess it really is just like a spark of inspiration. I have so many different like note-taking devices, from the Notes app to my email draft to the drafts on the CMS of my newsletter.
This sounds like
where
me.
I'll just like dump little tidbits, little notes, products that are coming out, and eventually over time, all of those tidbits, some of them will gel together, and I'll say, okay, here's an interesting story here. This is what I want to work on. But I'm really interested in not necessarily looking at like micro trends or what's new this week or last week or whatever. I want to look how beauty culture is like changing over time in ways that really matter to our day-to-day lives.
What do you see happening? I know you're not obviously a psychic, but what do you see happening in the beauty world as we're getting to the next decade or 5 years from now?
It's going to get stripped away. It's going to be too extreme that we're going to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like politics.
Well, there is a cycle, right?
Well,
There is a cycle.
Politics is a great point because beauty standards really are affected by politics. And so without a political change, without like an economic change, I do not think we're going to see a reduction in the importance of beauty in the lives of women and increasingly men and people of all genders. There has to be some sort of political revolution to revolutionize this space. Because even if you look at, the past 10, 15 years, like I said, beauty hasn't become less important in our lives.
Yeah.
It's the aesthetics change, but the importance stays the same or grows, right? So while we might see like a difference in what's trending in terms of like thin eyebrows or thick eyebrows, I don't see us deprioritizing beauty in our collective lives and culture anytime soon. I'm seeing a lot of gender rhetoric, especially, and of course that stems from politics. We're seeing hyper feminine and hyper masculine aesthetics really take center stage, and of course that has to do with the current administration and their laws and policies that they're trying to enact to really like return to these traditional gender roles. And yeah, we're going to see that continue to be reflected in beauty for sure.
I was thinking about how we're kind of back into this 90s trend, right? In a lot of things, in beauty, in fashion, in slenderness.
I was
Remember,
gonna say, don't
Kate
do that.
Moss?
Don't bring me back there to the Kate
but what
Moss.
I was going to say, it's also this kind of idea of where, 90s was Girls Gone Wild. Now we're on
That's
the
true.
OnlyFans. Like this, and revealing more body. I can't get over these outfits that are now on the red carpets that are pretty much little bits of nothing and just like a layer of lingerie over it. But that was 90s was lingerie.
Yeah.
We see that it does, it's a cycle. It all comes back sort of like the 70s came back. For me, I feel like there's always a balance of like, I feel happy when I feel beautiful. I feel strong when I feel good in
of
what I'm
course.
wearing and how I look. But also like there's the moments of at work where you're like, okay, so I look like this, but make sure they hear my voice and my thought and know I'm smart and I have resume and I'm built. It's such a fine line of being beautiful and being intelligent and smart,
Yeah,
like
you
looking
can't-
sexy but being heard.
Well, you can't be too pretty. You can't be that. It's like,
Yes.
what is happening?
It's the speech from Barbie.
No, exactly. It is just the speech from Barbie completely. And something that I like to say in conversations about this is like beauty products can only replace that confidence that beauty culture steals. Like we are conditioned to feel lesser than unless we buy in to what beauty culture is selling us. And so, yes, that like little confidence boost that you get from looking a certain way is real, but we have to start looking at where it starts from. And we are starting at a deficit because of the culture that we are conditioned into. And that is what I'm really interested in addressing.
Absolutely.
And then when you look at things like that over time, we have so much data that shows beauty standards actually contribute to increased instances of appearance-related anxiety, depression, facial dysmorphia, body dysmorphia, disordered eating, obsessive product use, self-harm. So we also have to start taking like a longer look at what beauty is doing to us. Yeah, you might feel a little bit more confident in the moment, but over time, that is increasing your appearance-related like anxiety, depression.
With social media, with these apps that we can, polish up our face and tighten up our waist or even just whatever, are these stuff that they do with all the apps and stuff.
I don't know. To brighten the eyes or something, I don't know.
People bring those,
Facetune,
where
all of it.
the Facetune, where people can bring that to a plastic surgeon and say, I want to look like what that is. That's not really me.
I will say.
The new thing,
No, I was just going to say my grandmother did do that when I was way little. I was like 12 and she went to the doctor and I was there with her and she literally was like, I want my face to look like her. And I was 12 and the doctor was drawing on my face and then drew on grandma's face. I remember that vividly.
Oh, God.
But she got old school facelift where they
we'll
pulled
talk
and
about
stapled.
that in therapy later.
That is a therapy moment. So sorry to interrupt you, Jessica, continue.
Oh, that's fascinating.
But that is fascinating.
That's what it was.
And it sticks with you.
But you said product, paraphrasing, but the overuse of product. And that to me is interesting because I have a friend who has a 14-year-old daughter. And I recently was over there and she was like showing me her bedroom. They remodeled it. It was so cute. But next to her bedside table was a full-on mini fridge. And I thought to myself, oh, that's fun. Like, I'm thinking, oh, when like you're doing school and like homework, it's snacks. And she was like, no, that's her beauty products in a fridge. No. And I was like, wait a minute. Are we supposed to be putting our beauty products in a fridge? And she's like, well, yeah, she likes it cold. So when it goes on her face, it does an extra boost. I'm like, she's 14.
Extra boost.
She's 14. And she has it next to her bedside table. And I thought, this is a slippery slope. What is that? And I love my friend, but what is that 14-year-old going to be at 24, 34? I don't know. How does that go? That scares the crap out of me.
I feel like teens and tweens in the beauty space are sort of getting like scapegoated for the world that we as adults have created for them to inherit. And of course they're obsessed with beauty. The adults around them, the women around them are obsessed with beauty, and not only physically around them, but what they see reflected on social media and traditional media and on TV screens and whatever. The obsession completely makes sense and completely tracks with the world that we've given them to grow into.
And I think
I find it upsetting.
Yeah, and I think that you have to hopefully the mothers, the family that's raising them, the women that are in their lives
There's
can
some
set
sort
the
of-
tone of that, right?
Right. How do we take our power back, people? That is the question, Jessica. How do we take it back?
Oh my God.
If I knew,
Candace,
my career would probably be over, and I'd be happy about it because I would say, "Here we go, one and done. Here's the plan."
equal pay. Yahoo!
Just wave the magic wand and fix us all.
So, are there trends that you get pumped about, though, that you're like, I know you said you love the beauty industry. Is there times where you're like, this makes, I think right now there's a lot of all natural products
That's
that
true.
are, I think there is, like, even with like clothing, people are not doing fast fashion anymore. I do think the 20, 30-year-olds are really gravitating towards more of the positive. That's a positive thing in the beauty trends.
Yeah. It could be. I mean, something that I'm concerned about is like natural alternatives to Botox. Okay, great. You're not getting Botox, but we're still holding on to the standard that the Botox is perpetuating. If the
100%.
idea is always like perma youth, to me, I don't really care if you're getting it from Botox or a facelift or a 10-step anti-aging regimen and natural fascia muscle massage or something. I want to break that obsession with permanent youthfulness as an ideal or something to strive for.
Yeah.
So there's good and bad. I mean, things that I get excited about, like I am obsessed with the skin microbiome. To me, this is the most
Talk to us.
exciting
Yeah, discuss.
thing in the skincare industry right now is a focus on your existing microbiome and what it does and how you can support that. And usually the best way to support it is with like very minimal product use. But as we see these science innovations in what actually exists already on your skin, like I get pumped up about that kind of thing.
I love that.
You know, when you were talking about you were having reactions, it's very interesting. I found as I got older, my skin has changed and I start getting, it's more sensitive. Like before I could have done anything.
Oh, that's true.
And I feel, but I also think maybe like you said, you were getting so much product. They're making so much product that maybe it's not being as tested as well. Like we're getting it from like, there's just
I don't
lotion
know.
coming in from other places.
I
Like
don't know.
we're just like mass producing tanners and stuff, you know, like
Tanner.
Right. I mean, I think with
that's where I'm getting
ingredient
reaction now.
innovation, there's new ingredients and
Yeah.
new products. And then I do think that they're obviously tested. No brand wants to give you a product that's going to harm you.
Yeah.
But we don't have enough testing over time or
Yeah.
longevity,
Okay, got it.
looking at what are the long-term effects of some of these things. So that's definitely a concern when the, battle cry for beauty brands is just like constant innovation and newness. We need these like long-term looks at what particular products or procedures or ingredients are possibly doing to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to go back to your overall career because I'm so impressed that you're able to look at the beauty industry, be a critic, but also you're like, for the good of humanity and the health of everyone mentally, because I do think there's a lot of journalists, and I'm not naming anyone, but there's a lot of people that are in this place of just like, well, this is what gets me the most views. Well, this is what, gets me the most hits or whatever you want to call it. And for you, you're like, yeah, I want to put this information out there, but it's also about breaking the mental load
Societal.
and the whole society of what it's
You're
going
a
to do to
journalist.
us. You're a true journalist. So tell me, what do you feel like your next step is for you as a journalist? What would you like to do next? Or are you like, I am riding this beauty wave? Like, where are you?
It's so interesting. I always say like my career is a reflection of how obsessed I still am with beauty. The reason that I do this research is because I have been beauty pilled. That's all that's going on in my brain. I'm obsessed, and I want to sort of temper that obsession with reality and weaning myself off of this industry that I have grown so attached to over the younger years of my life. So at some point I would love to just not care about beauty anymore and not feel the need to report on it.
Yeah.
But still it takes up all of my brain space. So this is what I do for now. I'd maybe like to pivot into more political reporting eventually. I do really want to write a beauty book.
You need to.
What I love about what you're saying is I love beauty industry, but I do find it an internal battle.
It's exhausting.
it's an internal battle for me, for my self-worth, for my
Sure.
self-confidence.
Sure.
But then there's times where I'm like, yeah, I like being bleach blonde. But then I'm like, what is the bleach doing to my brain? And first of all, I know that, but I also go get my master's to make sure I know that I still am bleach, but
So your master's was like, it's bleach. You're
but
killing
it's saying
it.
there's still things to prove that I'm doing
Sure.
to set my tone. And this is
Yeah.
obviously internal and why I
Yeah.
go to therapy or whatever I do to be above myself. And I think you're doing this in your own right and how you write. Right? You say, I have this obsession with certain things that made me sort of, whether it was insecure with my ears or my bangs, but I'm attacking it in a way that's proactive for me.
And it's such
I love it.
It's such a personal
I love it.
experience.
Thank you.
It's such a, like, you're coming from, everyone loves a journalist who is drawing upon their personal, experiences. And the fact that you can sit here and literally say, I have an issue with this, and this with myself, and I keep digging in the beauty world. I mean, I will be honest, I'm the type of person as well to get really obsessed, not so much doing it to myself, just looking at what the standard is now. And that's why I opened up this whole conversation with being like, so 30-year-olds are getting facelifts? Because apparently that means I should have had one by now. And it's so stressful. I mean, I'm on a text chain with a bunch of gals and girls that I've loved for many years who are like, are we all going to get the ponytail lift? And I'm like, what the hell is a ponytail lift? Where you go behind the ear and they're sharing pictures of Anne Hathaway and this is what she got and that's why she looks so good. And I'm like, the procedure's $25,000.
I love what they make it these
for
cute
a decent
things.
doctor.
It's so cute.
Is the good doctor
Oh,
$100,000?
but you can buy now, pay later, don't you know? There's like payment plans and loans. I mean,
it can get.
I
It's a thing.
laugh because, like, when I'm on the road with my shows, I determine my hair. My last day that I'm on the road in a tour, I do a high pony.
'Cause
And
you're
let
like,
me
I'm
tell
done.
you, it lifts me up. And a red lip.
yeah, you're a snack.
Right? And like, I put on a red lip and I'm like, I'm awake.
I always
right?
wear a high pony.
And that's for me. I'm like,
pulls.
that's my show face. Right? And there are these two different sides.
I
that-
love the pull pony. The pull pony works, but I don't think Anne Hathaway is walking around with the pull pony. I think she's had some beautiful stuff done. But like you said, people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to achieve this, and then they're putting it on credit cards. They're in debt. I don't even know what's going on, but that is a thing. Do you see these doctors and these some dermatologists are doing it? Do you see that getting any better or getting more accessible, or it's going to get worse?
I think it's going to get worse. I think barring some like major healthcare reforms, like this is unfortunately the state of healthcare. Like I really have like an ethical problem with like doctors selling like in their practices. Like I'll go to my dermatologist for my yearly skin cancer screening and it's, oh, do you want Botox? Do you want filler? Like that is not about health. Like that's aesthetics.
Yeah.
And it really disturbs me that these things are in the same places and I can go somewhere genuinely looking to take care of my health. I just want to make sure that I don't have any suspicious moles growing, right? And I'm goaded by a healthcare professional to care about what I look like.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want I really resent that.
Yeah.
But you make a lot of money from it. Like this is where a lot of the profits in cosmetic dermatology are coming from. Yeah. And at the same time, you do need licensed healthcare professionals administering these things.
You do.
I don't want.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Let's relegate that to the med spa.
completely.
No, we need these good doctors in charge of these procedures. So it's like, where is the line? I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like our younger years are just so important into developing who we are later in life. What would you say now with the knowledge of the beauty expert that you are? What would you say to your younger self?
Oh,
It's so hard.
oh, that's such a good question.
I know.
That's such a good question and such a sad question. I think I would tell my younger self, like, examine what you think you get from beauty and then look at other ways to get those things. Like expression was a big thing for me.
Of course.
Identity was a big thing for me. Makeup and beauty are not the only ways to exercise your expression or your creativity or to build your identity. And I wish when I was younger I had like sort of diversified those things rather than hanging all of my hopes on beauty and what I looked like.
Oh God.
Spectacular.
I know, right? I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You need to. I mean,
That's why I
keep
said I
doing
want her.
your columns.
That's what
obviously.
I said. I want her to be a professor and just like
We're gonna follow you.
help.
Listen, she writes. You write for everything, The Guardian, all these things. But like, we'll follow you on Substack and Instagram and all these things. But think
Thank
about
you.
a book. Because I would buy it.
Oh, I've been thinking about
I
it.
love it. I love it.
It'll
Or a podcast. We'll listen in,
It's
whatever you
just-
want.
It's such a profound subject.
And it needs to be told and explained to us in a way that people understand.
And which you do.
You do really well.
You do it brilliantly.
Because some things that you said in this whole conversation, I know, but it didn't connect until you've explained it. And I was like, oh my God, she's right.
That's like my favorite compliment. And I think it's the one I get most often where people are like, you've said something that I like intuitively already know, but hadn't put into those words.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so powerful about talking about this subject is like, it's just unlocking something that we already suspect or already know or already feel and putting language to it.
That's exactly what you do. Well, we're a fan of you, but
I'm a fan.
But you're, thank you. No, but I was going to say, you're now an official friend of Don't Start. Like, this is it. I feel like we need to have you back on.
And I think so much of why Candace and I started this was to be honest about these kind of feelings in all different walks of life, whether it's aging, whether being a parent, but the beauty idea first, the standards, that voice isn't heard as much for women.
It's just not.
And we're here to do it with laughter, honesty,
I love that you're doing
and
that.
maybe shout it out a little bit. I know that's exactly what you're doing as well. So we appreciate you so much. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to share all of your social medias and blah, blah, blahs all in our description.
And I'll be questioning all my standards today.
God, my standards.
And I'm going to sign up to get my
Love that.
doctorate.
I think Sarah's like, next step.
Yeah.
I think my standards need to be realigned after this conversation.
Just put in a high pony and call it a day.
Jessica, high pony.
See, Jessica, can I tell you something funny that I do as well?
Hi,
When
Paula.
I know that I'm feeling a little insecure about something in work, I always put on leather. Whether it's a leather jacket, because I said nobody could be insecure in leather. That is so true.
No, you're
There's
an
these
automatic badass.
You're just
with
hot in leather. You're just hot physically and, you know.
they're costumes to me, and I think that's as performers or whatever. I always find like, what is it going to make me feel? So there's things that are amazing about what it is, the beauty industry, fashion, that can make us feel a certain way. There's
Yes.
other things we have to be aware of.
Yes. And you'll always see me in a high pony. Anytime I'm on
Thank you
camera.
for your time.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks for everything you do, and keep it up.
Have a wonderful day.
Continued success.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God. So
It's everything.
I feel
Literally, she
like-
talks about everything that I feel in life. I feel this burden, but I feel the amazement of it. Like, I love it and hate it. And that is women's, the stresses of our lives, but the excitement of it.
I think-
I love being sexy.
No,
I
Sarah.
like being smart.
Sarah,
I
you are
like
so
being-
fired up. I feel like we're going to have Jessica back because there's so many things to, dig in and talk about. But specifically, I don't know what her, like she said herself, she's not sure where she wants her next steps to go, but I do think she articulates it so well. And I didn't want to say layman's terms, but for someone like me, in layman's terms, she explained why I'm feeling icky about something or intuitively, this feels gross that I'm talking about a facelift. And in my early years, like this is my early years, I shouldn't be talking about facelifts. And there's 30-year-olds getting facelifts. I keep going back to the facelifts because that's a procedure. That's a surgery. And people are like getting it done. No problem.
You were singing about it, so I know it's stressing
I'm
you
in
out.
like the high
It's a surgery.
But
We
she
didn't even
was
talk
darling.
about how she moved from music to that, but I'm sorry.
telling you, we're gonna have to have her
think
back.
It's such an important subject.
I know.
Because you will take my money.
Sarah, what's the first thing I said to you when you were like, "Oh my God, you looked so your
hair looks
thing was so
beautiful."
great."
Yeah.
And what was the first thing I said to you?
I needed more makeup.
I was like, "Next
Needed
time I
more
need more
hair
my
and
makeup."
makeup.
So look what we do to ourselves.
So now, more than ever, everybody in society, pretty much, if you're on a social media platform, is being seen. You and I have been in the entertainment
tough.
industry for a long time in our lives. So what
there.
our standards are, it would be on camera. Then HD came, right? HGTV. And so people got more Botox because I also laugh. Well, how does everybody have perfect teeth? I'm like, I thought about, oh man, should I go back and get braces
was
to
the
make
first thing I
people
did.
have veneers? Oh, right. You have perfect teeth.
My teeth.
I'm
And
sorry,
you know what's
I was
funny?
just in my own mind thinking about my own insecurity about my teeth.
That's the first thing I did at,
Yeah.
I was 19 when I did it.
Everybody has new teeth.
Because I was like, first of all, we all know my crazy teeth issues. So I needed to have some sort of veneer-ish done to protect what I have. But let's just call it what it is. I was also like, I know I smile a lot and I hate my current teeth. Please make me feel better.
Right.
Like I felt bad.
So that's the thing where I'm on the fence. if it makes somebody happy and if it makes them feel better, it's when it becomes a slippery slope.
Are you're not going to sing? If it makes you happy. I was waiting.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to sing something about slippery slope.
Oh, please don't start. Don't start.
I will sing.
Thanks for joining us today.
You can follow us on Instagram at Don't Start Podcast.
Or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'll see you next time, friends.
Don't Start is produced by Anthony Street Productions.